Hello and welcome to the Modern Frida podcast. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about how I pivoted from Instagram to YouTube and changed my entire perspective on how I create content, and hopes that it might inspire you, encourage you to not give up and throw in the towel, because I know it can be really ugly and nasty sometimes for us creatives when all we want to do is make the art. We don't want to fucking post online and give a fuck about algorithms and all the other stuff. So if that sounds like you at all, let's get into today's episode. Hi, my name is Gender Modern Frida, and I am a singer / multi-talented creative. And I'm going to be sharing my story of how I felt about social media in the past and how I finally made the pivot and changed my perspective. Because trust me, I have been in the dumps about this. I have felt like social media would just drain my energy like a leech. And y'all, am someone who's invested money in getting coaching for social media, branding, and creating a narrative. After spending I think it was $700 my last investment, and after spending all that money and not being able to take the action that was advised to me, it really got me thinking, because I'm like, if I'm not willing to take action after spending so much money, then what is it that's gonna motivate me to actually show up consistently and create content? Because I understand and I know that works. And even though like my goal is not to like be, I want to say, a short form content creator, that is not my goals. I am definitely more of a long form, so like podcast, YouTube, and my goal is like speaking gigs. And I understand that social media is great for marketing, getting my stuff seen by other people, connecting with others. Like there is a lot of beauty in social media, but it can all get lost when we get stuck in numbers and algorithms. And it's fair, because of course you're going to want something in return when you're putting energy and time into promoting. You're gonna want something in return, and if you're not receiving what you want in return, you're gonna get discouraged, period. So after coming to this conclusion and being like, yo, what the fuck, Jen? Like, you just spent so much money, and and the thing is, at the time I did feel motivated. If you go back to my Instagram, there is like a reel where I'm like, dear diary, yada yada yada, and like people responded well to it. I felt so good about it. I was motivated and excited, but I think I did a week of it and I was over it. I was burnt out. I was like, yeah, no, we ain't gonna fucking do this. And mostly because it just took so much time, took a lot more time than I anticipated. And I was like, no, this is not what I want to build for myself. Like, I'm not trying to do this every other day, spend hours on these little videos. Like, it's a no for me. So then I was like, okay, then what are we going to do? And YouTube has been up there for a very long time on top of mind for me, but something about it still hadn't clicked. I'm like, I knew I wanted to do it, but I just didn't know how or what. And I did have some ideas and I tried it. The thing is also, when you go into content creation, no matter what platform you're on, if you begin from what other people like, it's very easy to kind of lose yourself, like lose the plot entirely and fail. Honestly. And when I say fail, I mean like you're not going to feel good about whatever you just did. It's not going to resonate the best with people maybe. And I tried doing this because it was by this mentor. It was suggested that for YouTube, things that people like on YouTube is like, I woke up at 5 a.m. for 30 days. This is what I learned. Or I didn't do this for 30 days. This is what I learned. You know, like you might have seen videos like that online on YouTube. So I was like, okay, I'll do like I practice music. I did music every day for 30 days. This is what I learned. And while I was awesome and I did learn something, you can hear about that on, I think it's like episode 80, Your Dreams Require Devotion. It just didn't also feel good. It took me, y'all, that's like a 10-minute video and it took me forever to upload and I think record. I don't know. It just wasn't it for me. And I was just like, okay, well, maybe it's not YouTube. I was still kind of like in this cycle of just going in circles, y'all, is what it felt like for a very long time. And even when my videos did get views on Instagram, let's say, like it just didn't even feel good. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that performed well. that got more views in the last video, but like it's not clicking for me, and like I still don't want to show up, right? So I decided that I would pause for a bit, because y'all, when I tell you I wanted to jump ship and just delete all my social media, delete my Instagram, start all over, I don't know, just take like extreme measures. I was like, let's not do that. I was like, let's just pause and reflect and see what's really going on. Like, what do we really want to do? What action can we take? Because like I mentioned, y'all, I will forever mention, and this is with anything in life, like you have to remember the keys to your success you already hold. You just have to pay a little bit of attention and remember the core lessons you've been learning in life, because they're there to help you. But if you keep finding yourself in the same spot over and over again, it's because you keep taking the same actions. Nothing has changed. You can't bring change if you keep taking the same action. And for me, I've been like on this roller coaster with Instagram for the last 5 years. I already knew like 5 years ago that I was over it. I went, okay, 4 years. Let's say 4 years, because 2020, even though with the pandemic year, that 2020 honestly was the best online. It was just something about it. But right after that, for me, it just went down. Nothing that I did was working. I feel like I wasn't getting what I wanted in return. And I was like, okay, so if no matter what I do, I'm not happy on this platform, then what is it? So what do I need to do? And again, YouTube came to top of mind, and I was like, well, have I actually gone all the way with this? Like, have I actually devoted myself to this? And that kind of goes back to with what I mentioned before, is that you can be a jack of all trades, but you need to, when you focus on one thing, it allows you to get better at it and not just be like half-ass at it. And I thought about it like, okay, if I'm still like, if my focus is on Instagram, how could I expect myself to get better at a new platform that I'm not familiar with too much? Because Instagram, I've been on it for like 10 years. Like, I know what to do. I know how the game goes. But with YouTube, I'm like, I know a little bit of it. Like, I've dabbled on it in it here and there, but not enough to become like an expert on it, or enough where it becomes like second nature. So I was like, okay, if I keep coming back to this point, and that's the thing, it's not the first time in the last 5 years that I came to this conclusion. And I also realized that I'm like, why, if I already know this, if I already know that I'm being called to focus on YouTube, why the fuck do I keep putting my attention to Instagram? And that's the thing. If you decide that you want to switch platforms after this episode, you're like, I've been thinking about it. It's not going to feel great right away. You're going to meet also some resistance, because it's new and our bodies aren't going to be familiar with it. And our brain is going to freak out once we come to the first hurdle. Like for myself, the lighting is huge for video, right? Because I can't always record in daylight, and it's just like this big hurdle that I've had to overcome. And there's been times where in the past I was just like, I can't fucking do this. I spend an hour on lighting, and by the time I'm done getting the right lighting, I'm like, I don't feel like recording anymore. But now I've shifted my perspective and realized that it's part of the process. Like, it's gonna feel weird for a minute, it's gonna be difficult for a minute, but if I give up now, when will I ever get better at it? So you can't give up before you've even given it a shot, and you have to go in it with that mindset that you have to stay fucking focused. Like, you have to remember what the goal is and the consequences of not pushing through the uncomfortableness of what is new, because that's how you end up back in the vicious cycle that you're in currently. You're gonna have to rewire your brain, create new pathways, make your body feel comfortable in this new action you're taking, and commit to it, because you're going to want to go back to what's easy, just like any other habit you've built in the past. Like, it's going to feel weird at first, but you have to push through it so it becomes second nature. And once you get going, you're going to create momentum. Like, you're probably going to start off like a freaking snail at first, or like a turtle. But you have to have patience with yourself and realize that little by little, you're going to create momentum, and boom, next thing you know, you're going to be a fucking pro at whatever platform you're trying to excel at. Remember, if you've been feeling yucky about social media right now, like you just want to throw in the towel, stop, pause, reflect, think about what you do like right now, what is working for you, can you expand on it. If there's anything that's been calling you, answer the call. don't ignore it. See how you can pivot and push through the uncomfortableness of what's new, because it will be, and see how you can commit to something that can potentially change everything for you. Because let me tell y'all, ever since I've been like, okay, no more fucking Instagram, we're going all in YouTube, everything's been aligning and free flowing for me. I've never felt better. I haven't felt this great about creating content in such a long time. And even though I'm still on Instagram, I'm not married to it. I post when I want, when I feel inspired, and that's great. And I don't feel bad about it. That's the thing. Once you're doing what you feel good about, you're not going to feel bad. There's nothing to feel bad about, because you are confident in what you're doing and your plan and your action steps, that there is no need to doubt yourself. If you feel weird right now, it's probably because you're doubting yourself and not where you need to be. So stop going in circles. Remember, it's not a race, and you're building for the long term. So it is worth the pause. I promise the world's not going to end. So I hope this episode has inspired you and give you courage. Maybe it has been your sign. Maybe for a long time you've already known that you've needed to pivot. Go dare to try something new. Dare to try something new. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, or share it on your stories if you're listening to on the podcast, and I'll see you all on the next episode. Bye.